Welcome back to No Code Devs. Today I'm going to show you how we used a simple form in Wix Studio's advanced CMS editor to spin up a Freelancer directory on the No Code Devs website. I'll show you how to build things like front-end filtering via buttons or dropdown, and even manage your data on the back end. This tutorial doesn't require any technical knowledge or coding skills, and you'll be able to follow along and build a directory for anything that you're passionate about at the end of this tutorial. This is a live project for us, so I hope it's valuable and you see how we're building real features for members of our site. Let's go ahead and dive in. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, subscribe, and comment with any questions. Okay, so let's go ahead and get going. We're going to start with our form, which is how we collect information from the freelancers to be listed on our directory. You can use any major form builder as long as it integrates directly with your CMS or with Zapier so you can send the data to your CMS, you'll be good to go. We're collecting some basic information like if they're a freelancer or an agency, their name, the tools they're proficient in, their logo, their bio, and the URL of their portfolio or their landing page. They'll also have a landing page on our site at nocodedevs.com. Once a form submission is completed, we're actually using Zapier to zap this data into our CMS, and I'll briefly show you this, but here's our form submission, and once our submission is received, we're actually just using a webhook to post it directly into our CMS. Now, depending on your CMS or your website builder, this may look different for you, but essentially we're just mapping the fields from the form directly into the fields in our CMS. So that's what is going on over here. It's a simple automation that you can build with whatever CMS you're using, whether it be WordPress or Wix Studio in our case, or Webflow, or any other front-end website builders with a CMS out there. Now let's hop over now. So basically we got our form submission, it posts directly into our CMS, and we'll hop over here and show you what this looks like here. So this is our CMS. We have a bunch of different collections essentially. And the collection that we created for our freelancers is simply called Freelancers. And now we have, as you can see, all the submissions that have been submitted by our users right into the CMS. So we have the name, the headline, the bio, the email, the avatar, the tools they're proficient in, the website URL of their portfolio or their website, whether they're a freelancer or an agency. We have a box here for approved, so we can manually approve freelancers, make sure, or agencies, make sure they're not spamming our site. They get a landing page on our site here, which is dynamically built. And then we connect the tools that they're proficient in so that we can also show freelancers on our tools page. So what we did here is we set up, again, we're using Wix Studio here, but basically all that we did is we added a new page. If we go to our site pages, we added a new page right here, and we made a dynamic page. And when you make a dynamic page in Wix Studio, it'll actually set up the listing page, so sort of like the directory page, and then the dynamic page, which will be the detail listing for each item in your directory. So very cool. It does it automatically for you, and then you can style it to your liking. So I've done some initial styling here once we created the dynamic page to look like the directory on our site, but this is going to be for freelancers. We've set up a hero section here with some basic information. Now, what I'm going to show you how to do is how to not only connect your data to the front end here in Wix Studio, but also how we're going to set up some filters to allow our users to filter the data based on some of the parameters in the database. So if we click on any of the text here in our front end, we can click on the title here. We would probably want this to be connected to an item in our database. So which data set do we want to connect? We want to connect to freelancers, and what do we want to connect this to? We want to probably connect this to the headline. So this is actually the freelancer's name. Okay, great. Now we have this placeholder text here, tools proficient in. We can actually just map this data to the freelancers. And then there's a bunch of extra fields here in our CMS that we don't need, but we're going to connect it to the tools. So now we see in real time, the tools that they're proficient in is updating. Super, super cool. Next, we have to change the image and map it to our CMS as well. So we're going to connect it to data here. We're going to choose freelancers, and we're going to do the image source as the avatar image. And we should see all the avatar images coming in. The button here, this is already linked, but basically what we're doing is we're sending them, when they click this button, to the freelancer's headline dynamic page. So this will be the profile page for each freelancer, where we'll pull in more information from the CMS so they can learn more about the freelancers. I'll show you what that looks like here. If we go ahead and hit preview, now this page has not been styled yet, so keep that in mind. But if we go ahead and hit previews, let's say we want to learn more about this freelancer, Sam. So it just brings up like a demo page, but let's just click this. Okay, so we're on Esteban, but let's just see Sam's page just to show you. In a live environment, it'll actually link through to Sam's page. Again, we have not styled this page yet. This is a work in progress. We are currently building this out, but I wanted to show you how we do this easily in Wix Studio. So let's go back to edit our site and let's go back to the freelancers directory page. So here's our freelancer directory page. Let's just say that we wanted to add a section where users could filter the data based on some of the parameters or the elements in our CMS. So what we can actually do here is we can add a section. We can make this section blank. We're actually going to go ahead and want to change the color here so that it matches the rest of the site. We can use our nifty dropper tool to get the color here from the page. So we got the color, great. We'll copy this, add the color. Awesome. So now it matches. And then what we can do is we can add an element here. There's all kinds of different elements that you can add, but what we want here is input. And then we have all these different inputs. We can just scroll through them and find that one that we like. How about selection tags? I think that would work well. So let's go ahead and click selection tags. Awesome. Everything's drag and drop. So we can just shrink this section down a little. And it's really easy to connect your tags to your repeater section here, and it's dynamically linked. So I'll show you what that means. If we go ahead and click connect the CMS, we can allow our users to filter the content based on their choices. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to choose the freelancers dataset. And what do we want to connect this to? In this instance, let's go ahead and use tools. And we got to find it here, tools.txt, and we'll see. This will start to populate. Now we have a lot of tools here, so we might want to narrow this down a little bit, but let's go ahead and expand this out. Okay, great. We'll just shrink this like that. Maybe we'll move this down, center it. Okay, great. So now, as you can see, we have all the tools that people are saying they're proficient in our freelancer CMS. So now what we can do is we can preview this just to take a look. And let's just say we want to find freelancers. We're searching for freelancers that are proficient in Zapier or Retool. Let's go ahead and click that. And look, there's just one person who's proficient in Zapier and Retool. We can undo this. We can click Bubble. We've got two that are proficient in Bubble. Form builders, you get the idea. You can even mix and match. So we could do like Zapier and Webflow. Look at that. We've got two people. So in a matter of minutes here, built a filterable directory from a form that zapped directly into our CMS, and then we just built this filter function within our front end. So super easy to do. You can manage the choices that are available here or structure it differently in your CMS if you wanted this to look differently. You could also add things here. Like if we go to our elements, we can add let's just say we wanted to allow people to filter by a dropdown. We could do the same sort of thing where we just add a dropdown here. We connect it to data. We want them to be able to filter by freelancers. And then let's just say, maybe we want them to be able to filter by the sort of the freelancer name or something like that. We'd be able to do that easily here. And then if we preview this, we would see that this should be live now. And we can we just want to see Cloudcrafts. And what will happen here is that now this is filtering by that specific freelancer. So any item that's in your CMS, you can make a filter or a search or some sort of button to allow people to drill down into the data more. So super simple, but I hope this was helpful in showing you how you can quickly spin up a directory with front-end filtering just simply from a form. Again, we're using Wix Studio here, but this workflow would essentially work for any website builder. But if you want to build the front end like this, you can definitely use Wix Studio. I think the filtering on the front end with other CMSs might be a little bit more complex. But this just hopefully gives you a sneak preview of how we are building our freelance directory here at nocodevs.com. And if you want to submit yourself as a freelancer and be live, we'll put a link in the YouTube description so you can do so you can offer your services to all the members of the No Code Devs community. If you have any questions, be sure to drop them in the comments, like this video, and be sure to subscribe to our channel for any future notifications to make sure you don't miss any of our tutorials. Thanks so much.